This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. Welcome to today's strategic briefing. We're going to be talking about a critical shift in Nepal's business landscape. And honestly, it's a future that's coming way faster than most people are ready for. A future where the old marketing rulebook isn't just outdated, it's actually a threat to your company's survival.
So picture this, it's 2026. You're in a boardroom. The marketing team has just presented a fantastic looking deck, soaring reach, millions of views. But then the CFO just looks at the flat sales numbers and says these two words. Now, this isn't just for drama. This is the inevitable outcome when those classic marketing metrics slam into the hard reality of business performance.
Okay, let's dive right in and diagnose the core issue here. We're talking about vanity metrics. You know, the numbers that once defined success and looked amazing in a report, but have now become a serious liability to the bottom line.
The entire game has shifted. For years, it was all about brand awareness, just getting in front of as many eyeballs as possible. But today, and definitely by 2026, the only thing that matters is shifting from that vague goal of reach to the hard, quantifiable reality of revenue. And this isn't just a small change in words, it's a deep, fundamental change in how a business has to operate if it wants to grow.
Now this slide really paints a clear picture. On the left, you've got the classic vanity metrics, impressions, likes, followers. They make you feel good, sure, but they're often completely useless for business growth. But on the right, that's where you find the value metrics. We're talking about things like ROAS, your return on ad spend, CPA, the cost per acquisition, and LTV, your customer lifetime value. These don't just feel good, they actually build the business. This is the new language you have to speak.
So this isn't some abstract theoretical idea. It's creating a very real, very painful accountability crisis inside companies. And the pressure is coming from two key directions, forcing a level of transparency that, frankly, marketing has never had to deal with before.
The days of justifying huge budgets with fuzzy claims about building the brand, well, they're over. Done. A tighter economy and more competition mean the CFO is now empowered to ask the one question that cuts right through all the noise. For every single rupee we spent, how many rupees did we get back? Simple as that.
So how do you answer that question? Well, the technology that provides the proof, the tool that enforces this new accountability, is the Conversion API. The easiest way to think of it is as a secure data pipeline, almost like a truth serum for your ad spend. It directly connects what happens on, say, Facebook or Google to what happens at your actual cash register. It closes the loop and gets rid of the guesswork. It's the antidote to just throwing money away.
And here's basically how it works. It's pretty simple. A customer clicks one of your ads. They go on to buy your product. The API then sends a secure, anonymous signal straight back to the ad platform that says, hey, we made a sale from that click. This whole process gives you almost perfect attribution, and it completely changes the conversation from vague reach to the precise, verifiable results that your leadership is demanding.
So, the report you give to the CFO is no longer, we reached 1 million people. Now it's, we achieved a 4.5x return on ad spend, or ROAS, just like you see here. It means for every 100 Nepalese rupees we spent on ads, we generated 450 rupees in direct sales. That's not just a number, it's the new, non-negotiable language of marketing performance.
Now, the second force that's driving this crisis is what we're calling the great influencer correction. The bubble is bursting. That old model of paying an influencer a huge flat fee for a post with absolutely no way of tracking if it led to any sales, it's collapsing under the weight of its own inefficiency.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. We're moving away from these crazy flat fees and into performance-based commissions. The metric that matters is no longer the follower count, it's the actual conversion rate. And this is crucial. The influencer's incentive totally changes. It's not just about posting something, it's about creating content that actually persuades people to buy. They stop being just endorsers and become a real, performance-based sales channel.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. What's the solution to this whole accountability crisis? Well, it's not a single piece of software or some clever marketing trick. It's about building a core capability right into your business, the attribution engine.
Full funnel attribution is really the science of understanding that entire customer journey. Think about it like a football team. The old way of doing things only gave credit to the player who scored the goal. But the new way, with full funnel attribution, it recognizes the midfielder who made the assist and even the defender who started the play with a key pass. It gives credit to every single touchpoint that helped lead to the sale. This gives you a complete, accurate picture of what's really driving your growth.
But look, building these kinds of engines in Nepal is not exactly a walk in the park. To get this done, businesses here have to overcome 3 pretty big hurdles. First, a real talent gap in data analysis. Second, fragmented payment and logistics systems that break that data trail. And third, some tough regulatory friction when it comes to using the best international software.
And all of this leads to the final decision. This new reality brings every single business leader in Nepal to a very stark, very unavoidable choice. A choice between two completely different futures for their company.
What's so crucial to understand is that these two paths go in completely opposite directions. The muddle-through path means you keep focusing on vanity metrics, which leads to higher costs and a slow death by 1,000 cuts as your market share erodes. The alpha pivot, on the other hand, means you become obsessed with ROAS and LTV. And that leads to efficient, data-driven growth and ultimately to market leadership in the next decade.
So, the final barrier to making this critical pivot, it isn't technical, and it isn't financial. It's not about not having enough money or the right tools, it's cultural. Just like it says here, the biggest obstacle is a crisis of leadership mindset. It's an unwillingness to leave the comfortable, familiar world of vanity metrics for the much more powerful, data-driven world of revenue. And this brings us to the final and most important question that every CEO, every board member, and every investor in Nepal needs to be asking themselves right now. Is your leadership fluent in the language of data? Because your honest answer to that question is what will determine your company's path for the next decade and beyond.